Welcome to tracking my Bitcoin portfolio day 93. My Bitcoin's worth $25,980.56, which is up $350.86 since yesterday. Now I'm gonna go into these comments. This person said, eventually you will get to 1 Bitcoin. After you'll own 2, then 3, etc. I like to give it more time to determine if/how banks will eventually adopt crypto as collateral. One thing for sure, my son will be a whole coiner, just like you will be. Stay blessed. Thank you for your comment, Calvin. That's pretty ambitious though. I don't know if I'm gonna get to 2 or 3. My goal is definitely 1. I think I'm making some good progress, but 2 or 3, that's pretty ambitious, Calvin, but I appreciate your comment. This person said, 1, you have 1 would be hard to sell any because the round number looks too good to sell off, even 0.1, so only thing to do is hold. Sorry, it's not creative. Great, that's a great response. If your plan is just to hold it long term, then there's nothing wrong with that. Thank you for your comment. This person said, what I'm doing since we're in a bear market is borrowed against my stack in June at 60K Bitcoin. I kept it to 40% loan to value. I used the funds to buy more Bitcoin and MSTR. My liquidation price is 25,000 Bitcoin, which I find highly unlikely. And even if it does happen, I will be able to post more collateral to prevent getting liquidated. I'll be completely honest with you. I'm against like using leverage, and I'm also against investing in MSTR. I believe Bitcoin is the innovation, and everything built on top of Bitcoin, you're taking on more risk if you invest in it. But I'm not saying you're gonna lose money necessarily. I don't give that the stamp of approval, but I hope that works out for you. But yeah, I'm not really a fan of using leverage. And I'm not a fan of investing in financial instruments being built on top of Bitcoin. I'm only Bitcoin, only self-custody Bitcoin. But thank you guys for your comments. If you ever disagree with anything I say, comment it down below. If you ever want to add to anything I say, comment it down below. So I wanted to talk today about what would I ever sell my Bitcoin for? Like, let's say in the far future. And I've been thinking about self-sustainability a lot more. Obviously, I've talked about this in my past videos, but it just makes so much sense to just build the infrastructure and then not have to pay any monthly bills. Like, for example, if you were to go and buy your own land and build your own house, obviously that would cost money, but you wouldn't have a mortgage payment anymore if you do it properly. If you go and build up the proper infrastructure and have a water purification system, and maybe you collect rainwater, or maybe there's a natural spring, or you have a well, then you wouldn't need to pay for a water bill. So basically what I'm saying is that I feel like self-sustainability makes a lot of sense. You don't have to live off grid necessarily. So basically, that's what I'm planning on doing probably, is in the future, obviously when Bitcoin appreciates, maybe use some of that Bitcoin to go and buy things that can help me live a self-sustainable lifestyle. Like maybe even just a greenhouse, and just learn how to grow food properly. I don't know anything about self-sustainability. I talk about the economics of it, but I don't really know anything about it. So I'd have to invest more of my time into actually learning everything about it, and then devise a plan to actually do it. So that would take a lot of time. But learning how to grow your own food, building the proper infrastructure, having solar panels potentially. Where I live, it might not be ideal, but maybe trying to find a certain location where it would be ideal, and planning on trying to move somewhere else to because the location is important. Obviously the infrastructure is really important, but the location has to be good as well, So maybe looking for a good location to go and build this self-sustainable lifestyle. Now, I'm not saying that I'm gonna go and sell all of my Bitcoin and just completely opt out. Like let's say Bitcoin appreciates to $10 million a coin. I'm not gonna sell all my Bitcoin and try and invest all of it into self-sustainability. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. If that's what someone else does, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I personally wouldn't do that, because I'm still really in favor of there being like a global monetary network, and it makes a lot of sense in my opinion to be a part of that. But it also makes sense to just build up all the infrastructure to live a self-sustainable lifestyle and not have to rely on the government for electricity, because you never know what could happen. Even just having like a generator, and just having extra gas or something, or maybe having an electric generator, making sure it's charged, things like that, that just makes a lot of sense to me. Maybe even like storing firewood, and if you have like a fireplace in your house, most houses don't anymore, but let's say you do, you know, maybe if something does happen, you can just heat your house with the firewood, like just in case. Or maybe investing in canned food. Like canned food lasts for a very long time. There's also dried food. I think that's what you call it, like dried food, and that lasts for a very long time as well. So potentially, you know, stocking up on that. I'm not saying that there's going to be like an apocalyptic event or something, but it does make sense to just have things that you need just in case something does happen. That obviously that makes sense to me, because you never know what the government's going to do, like what type of, you know, rules could come about, or if there's ever some type of pandemic or some type of disaster again, you know, you don't want all these things to spike up in price. You know, like if gas like really starts to spike up even more, it would be ideal to just already have some gas. So I just wanted to talk about that. I don't really know too much about self-sustainability. I haven't really like learned a lot. I just kind of look at the economics of it, and I think it makes sense. I give it the stamp of approval for the economics of it. I think it makes a lot of sense. Like if you had solar panels, like look how hot it is today. I don't have any solar panels though, you know? So it's all this energy is just going to waste basically. So yeah, it makes sense, but I don't know how well I would be able to do it, because I don't really know too much about how to like implement the proper strategy. But maybe just investing my time into learning more on how to live a self-sustainable lifestyle. Like obviously there's so many YouTube videos of people that have probably already done everything that I've talked about. There's probably a bunch of YouTube videos of people just doing it. So that's obviously a helpful resource. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know, if you guys have any advice on self-sustainability or any interesting takes on self-sustainability, or maybe you disagree with me, you think it's overhyped, you think, you know, maybe living off the grid is overhyped, like what do you guys think about that? Just comment it down below. And I think I'm at 393 subscribers. I need to get to 1,000, and I need 4,000 watch hours within 365 days. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Once you subscribe to this channel, it helps me monetize this channel. And once I monetize this channel, I'm basically monetizing my Bitcoin portfolio. But I don't really have anything else to say for today. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.